100 miles northeast of Aberdeen are the Ivanhoe and Rob Roy oil fields. This is AH001, a floating oil and gas platform operated by Amerada Hess Limited. It's also a home and a place of work for up to 120 dedicated professionals. The Ivanhoe Rob Roy oil fields are situated in Block 1521A of the UK sector of the North Sea. The two fields are about 3 miles apart. The platform is moored centrally between the two fields. Because it is a floating facility, the vessel is held in place by a complex 12-point mooring system. AH001 was originally an accommodation and firefighting platform. As part of a multi-million-pound conversion, cross pontoons were added to the original structure. The addition of cross pontoons makes the platform more stable. This helps the facility's complex process machinery perform better. The 12 winches that hold AH001 in place and an ingenious ballast system are all operated from the marine control room.
When we get boats alongside, if we take water and fuel off the boats, obviously taking on weight, we must get rid of weight, which is ballast, which is this panel here. This is a schematic view of the panel. Each tank is individually separated from the others, port side, starboard side tanks, and whichever tanks I want to use. On this platform itself, as I say, the only ones we use is number 3 and number 11 on port and starboard side. They are our trim tanks for trimming the vessel with.
460 feet below the platform, unique flexible risers reach down to the 350-ton riser base manifold, an underwater junction box which connects the two production manifolds, one on Ivanhoe and the other on Rob Roy. Flexible flow lines connect each well to a fixed position on the production manifold. There is a total development capacity of 24 wells, 10 on Ivanhoe and 14 on Rob Roy. Computers on board the platform control the flow of reservoir fluid from each well to the wellhead and onto the production manifold. From here it is directed via the riser base manifold to the vessel for processing. To maintain the pressure in the wells and to aid recovery, it's necessary to inject water to replace the well fluids recovered.
The layman's view of an oil reservoir is a giant cavern underneath the seabed, where in fact it's more like a sponge. If you imagine a sponge that's wet through with the holes, and imagine a piece of sandstone to look like a sponge, and the oil is trapped in the holes in the sponge or in the stone. When you actually tap a reservoir, drill an oil well or drill into a reservoir, you have a release of pressure. To maintain the pressure in the reservoir and to aid the recovery of the oil, we actually inject water to take the place of the oil. And we have to inject water of very high quality.
The ordinary salt seawater is rigorously filtered and conditioned before being injected back into the wells at very high pressure. The platform utilizes a unique flexible riser configuration. Their rubber and steel construction allows them to transport crude oil on board for processing in the severest of weather conditions. Once on board, crude oil from Rob Roy and Ivanhoe starts its journey through AH001's process equipment. At this stage, the well fluid is a mixture of oil, gas and water. Its first stop is the production separator. Inside the production separator, the reservoir fluids are propelled into the tank and turned into a spray. The oil, seen here as green, and the water, blue, settle out by gravity, and the gases, represented in pink, remain in continual motion at the top of the tank. The gases are then compressed. Some are used for fueling the gas turbine generators that provide electrical power on board the vessel. excess gas is flared off. AH001 was the first floating platform to export gas using flexible risers. The gas travels by pipeline to St Fergus in Scotland via the Tartan platform. Here it is further conditioned and distributed through the national grid. Any remaining water is removed from the crude oil before it is exported via the Claymore field to Flotta in the Orkney Islands, 150 miles away. At Flotta, the crude oil is reprocessed and shipped by tanker all over the world. Back in the control room on board AH001, these meters count the millions of barrels of oil and cubic meters of gas as they leave the platform.
The hardware that we've put onto the platform has performed above design. We were looking at producing some 60,000 barrels a day. We're actually producing 80,000 barrels a day and have in fact produced 84,000 barrels a day. The platform has been a major success for Amerada Hess and indeed the partners.
The platform is just 50 minutes flying time from Aberdeen Airport. Amerada Hess personnel work a 2 weeks on, 3 weeks off shift system. Like all efficient businesses, communication is of paramount importance. Each working day starts with a telephone briefing with the Amerada Hess shore base at Scott House in Aberdeen.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very well, Gordon.
Another good day yesterday? Yes, everything was steady yesterday, Gordon. Wasn't too bad at all, some good figures. Excellent. I see the BS&W has been up a little bit though.
The shore base is not just an office. It provides a complete backup service to the production platform at sea, including the management of supply vessels, pipe yard and warehouse
I
facilities.
don't see any problem with half a bar, Keith. I think possibly we drop as much as a bar, we may have problems.
Yes, I feel the same.
I think we could possibly get away with a half bar, but I think up to a bar we're going to end up having fire pumps.
Right.
We've got weather problems this morning with vessel movement, but it's not affecting the process as yet. The wind has come up and the seas are picking up.
The special difficulties of running what is effectively a small refinery in the middle of the North Sea are never far away. The Amerada Hess supply vessel is approaching, carrying vital spares from the company's warehouse. Using one of 2 onboard cranes, it's deck foreman Chris Powdrell's job to coordinate the unloading of the vessel. But today, the North Sea is not on his side.
The sea's pushing him on. Instead of pushing him away from the rig, pushing him into it. And if he loses his engine power out like that, instead of going away, he'll come into us. Yeah, Skipper, what we're going to do here, we're going to pick the...
After snatching some welding cylinders from the deck, Chris decides to postpone the delivery until later in the day, when the weather has calmed. AH001 is a giant engineered machine, and its control room is like a brain that has nerve endings that stretch to every corner of the vessel.
Yes, Alan, we've just got confirmation from Claymore that we're allowed to launch this pig. Is everything set up down there?
Everything's set up and ready to launch, Bob.
Okay, Alan, could you launch the pig, please?
A pig is effectively a plastic plug that swabs the pipeline as it is pushed along by the flow of the oil or gas, cleaning water and wax from the walls of the pipe. Once loaded, it will take up to 12 hours to reach the Claymore platform, 28 miles away.
Hello, this is Amerada Hess. Yeah, just to confirm with you that we've launched the pig. Is that okay?
That's it reset.
Okay then. Thanks very much. Bye.
All the facility's process operations can be overseen and controlled from this room. A mixture of Ferranti and Honeywell computers monitor hundreds of miles of pipework and hundreds of valves vital to the safe production of oil and gas. All incidents, no matter how small, are dealt with immediately and without panic.
Well, basically we've just had an alarm from telling us that we've got a high level in our closed-range flash drum. The closed-range flash drum is a secured system for taking water that possibly has oil in it. A high level has occurred and a pump hasn't started. We're now resetting or checking the computer systems to find out why the pump hasn't started. We have a SOPL, programmable logic, which may have stopped. They've reset an ESD system, emergency shutdown system, and that will now allow us to start the pump. The reason that everybody jumped at that moment is if we get a high level, then it will shut the platform down and stop producing.
The control room also manages a safety mechanism for work procedures carried out on the deck of the vessel. Permits to work are split into two categories for different kinds of maintenance: hot work permits or cold work permits.
The main area of responsibility that I have is for the policing of the permit system and enforcing the permit system, which is, I would say, the biggest part of my job, because the permit to work system controls every job that takes place on this platform. I literally have to make sure that all the precautions are taken.
So there are a series of precautions, a series of checks made before that job is even started. There are further precautions to be taken during the work, and then at the end of the work, another check of the work site is made to make sure that the work site is left in a safe condition. And all that is documented in one single format called the permit to work.
All work permits are regularly audited throughout the day.
People like to work in a safe environment, and we sometimes get a lot of hassle from people that come onto the platform and have to wait around while we endorse permits and while we make sure that all the correct signatures are on the permit. But I feel that the banter is generally accepted, that it's in their interest, that the permits, however long they take, are for safety reasons, and we will not issue a permit if we don't feel it's safe to do so.
This commitment to safety on board the platform is part of a total quality concept that runs throughout Amerada Hess. The company has been awarded British Standard BS 5750, the first offshore operation to receive such an accreditation. The quality of plant design, management and preventative maintenance on board the vessel are all geared towards producing oil and gas safely, whilst protecting the environment.
The environment is protected by law, but we try to go steps better than legislation, in the fact that produced water produced from the reservoir is cleaned up significantly and pumped over the side at a higher specification than is required by the legislation itself. The company's attitude to the environment is obviously of paramount importance, and that is built into the company culture. I think that the protection of the environment is more from the point of view that we would not do anything to compromise the safety of the operations offshore, and hence by protecting the total safety of the facility, you then are protecting the environment itself.
Safety is a regular feature of daily life on the platform. As often as every 12 days, there is a full lifeboat muster involving everyone on board the vessel. OIM Malcolm Nichol coordinates the operation from a control room on the lifeboat deck. Scott Protector, the permanent standby vessel, is also a part of the exercise. Lifeboat musters and fire training are carried out with as much realism as possible. This not only ensures a well-honed team, but allows possible improvements to be introduced at the regular safety committee meetings.
OIM, Fire Team 1.
Fire Team 1, OIM.
Fire Team 1, all members present and correct, including Dougie Baird, Kim McQueenie, Nino Innes, Fred Tinker,
Vic McNally and myself.
Fire Team 1, that's a Roger. I copied that.
I did 8 years in the fire service, and then went on to Montrose and did another 3 years there as an instructor. And I found that background helps an awful lot, especially when it comes to training the fire teams. And they tend to give me a little bit more credibility when you're actually showing someone how to conduct themselves in a firefighting situation. If you've been there and done it yourself, then people tend to respect that. Well, the first few exercises that we conducted offshore, we got all the people together, and they were all from different backgrounds, different companies. Everything was done at walking pace, which ensured that first of all nobody was going to have an accident. These situations that you put people in these training scenarios, they bring out certain qualities of people, and people learn from each other that way, and they get to know each other very quickly when they're in that sort of environment.
On the floor, keep them on the floor.
In a firefighting situation, control and discipline, team discipline is uppermost. So we have to instill that from the start of the training, that the team effort is paramount.
There's a definite relationship between actually working together as a shift in a team and the fire team. I think that it goes hand in hand. It's very much a team effort. Anything you do here is a team effort. Teamwork, as I say, is a very important thing.
Forbes Ferguson, 5040, please.
The company's developing and opportunities are there all the time as the company develops, you know. And from a personal point of view, I think it's the place to be at the moment.
To join a company from day one, this opportunity only arises maybe once or twice every 10 years. And I'm very happy to have made the move to Amerada Hess.